Retired military Colonel Roy Potter knows the entire government has turned on 300 million Americans. Watch as he almost breaks into tears saying, "They are not on our side. Nobody in government is on our side. No corporations. We have been marked for elimination."
Down now. This is the warning. I've been talking about it for a long time. Get yourselves ready as best you can, okay? All right, I'm going to go. They're not on our side. Nobody in the government's on our side. Nobody in the corporations. We've been marked for elimination. It's pretty obvious. Any of this going on, see y'all later. You can see it anyway. You don't need me to tell you this, but the additional information that inside military folks are saying, get ready. You got to get yourselves supplied because this is going to go south real quick. I don't know why. It could be a situation with China. It could be that Biden's invited the UN in. We're seeing what apparently are some UN identifications here and there. I don't know that for sure. I don't have direct information on that, but this is direct information that inside the military, amongst the upper officer ranks at any rate, whether it's official or not, I doubt it's official. I don't think this is coming down from SecDef or from the chairman of the Joint Chiefs or anybody like that. This is just people in the know in the military that are warning their buddies, their officer friends, you better get ready because this thing's going south right now. Get everything you need now. Don't wait. So there are military families right now, at least in the upper officer ranks, that are hitting the Costco's, the Walmarts, the Sam's Clubs, etc., trying to get their stuff together. We see the shortages in the UK right now. They're talking about it right now. The entire lockdown that's going on there, the unjustified things that are happening over all of this. This is the warning. I've been talking about it for a long time. Get yourselves ready as best you can, okay? They're not on our side. Nobody in the government's on our side. Nobody in the corporations. We've been marked for elimination. It's pretty obvious.
Last week on Thursday, he gave his first primetime speech, as you know, and he said that when the coronavirus first showed up, and that was at the beginning of 2020 when we did have a 3.5% unemployment rate, as you just noted. But he said that when the coronavirus first arrived, it was met with silence for days and weeks and then months. There was no word of your Warp Speed program. How are you feeling tonight about the fact that you're not getting any credit for any of this by the Biden administration? In fact, even when it comes to the border, Nancy Pelosi this weekend said that the Biden administration inherited the border issues from the Trump administration.
So when you go to the COVID issue, we did a great job. We get very little credit for it. I closed the country far earlier. Dr. Fauci and Birx and all of these people that frankly made nothing but mistakes. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to close it to China. I closed the border to China. I closed the border to Europe. Italy and all these countries that were having tremendous problems long before they wanted me to do it. And if you look at Biden, he didn't want to do it months afterwards, and then ultimately he admitted that he made a mistake in saying that. If I didn't do that, we would have had hundreds of thousands of more lives gone. But the big thing is I've always felt it was the most important, is the vaccine. The key was always going to be the vaccine. And when Biden got the vaccine in December, and on January 20th, he made a statement that he doesn't think we have vaccines. Now, I don't know, did he make that statement as a statement, or did he not actually know we had the vaccine? What's going on there? But he got his shot. He got his first shot on December 21st, I believe. So with the vaccines and with the job we've done with COVID, I inherited an empty cupboard. Biden failed very badly with the H1N1, with the, as you know, he had a chance to do something, and they had a tremendous failure. H1N1, it was a disaster. and now he's taking over this. What he's taken over, warp speed, we had it, our military, what they've done in terms of delivery has been incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
And we gave up to 1.3 million shots a day before he even took over. So not only did we have the vaccine, and one thing we did, we took a big bet on this. We started manufacturing the vaccine before we really knew it worked. We saved many, many months and millions of lives by doing that, because you wouldn't have the vaccine right now if we didn't take that chance. We knew what we were doing. We knew that we felt strongly it was going to work. And we took a risk, and the risk was spending billions of dollars to develop it before we knew and before we had the approval that it was going to work. It works incredibly well, 95%, maybe even more than that. It works incredibly well. And it's really saving our country, and it's saving, frankly, the world.
So, Mr. President, I know that you received the vaccine. Mrs. Trump also got the vaccine. Would you recommend to our audience that they get the vaccine then?
I would recommend it, and I would recommend it to a lot of people that don't want to get it, and a lot of those people voted for me, frankly. But, you know, again, we have our freedoms, and we have to live by that, and I agree with that also. But it's a great vaccine, it's a safe vaccine, and it's something that works. And we've been working round the clock, and what I got the FDA to do, this would have happened in many, many years from now if I didn't get involved, and if we didn't get involved.
Yeah, tell me more about that. I remember you were talking about, when you were in office, you were talking about the meeting that you held with the major pharmaceutical company heads, and you were garnering all of their support to work together to ensure that a vaccine was on the market as soon as possible. And you said that one issue that you were trying to do was to alleviate any bureaucracies within the FDA. How was it that you were able to encourage a vaccine on the market within 9 months? That was quite extraordinary.
Well, I wouldn't say the FDA loves me, but I pushed them very, very hard, harder than they've ever been pushed. And a number of the people in the FDA admitted that, and at the end they were very happy. But they did not like me. In fact, they wanted to announce it sometime after the election because they just didn't. I think most people knew we pretty much had the vaccine before the election, but they wanted to announce it along with the drug companies, who are not fans of mine, because if you look at favored nations and all of the things I've done to bring down drug prices, nobody's ever done what I've done. But that cost the drug companies a lot of money. In fact, they took tens of millions of dollars of commercials. So they wanted to announce the vaccine after, and I understand that, but somebody had to do it. You will see drug prices, if Biden leaves it alone, you will see drug prices. Favored nations means we get the price of the lowest nation. Whoever pays the lowest, we get that price. Right now, we're the highest in the world. We will be the lowest in the world, meaning tied for the lowest in the world. The drug companies were very unhappy with that. They never thought anybody would do it, but I did it. So with the vaccine, I pushed the FDA at a level that they've never been pushed before, and they got it done in 9 months instead of 5 years. Now, the 5 years, I think, would have never happened because I don't think they would have ever gotten it done.
Facebook censored this message from Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the son to Bobby Kennedy, brother of President John F. Kennedy, who was assassinated in 1963. Pharma has 80 COVID vaccines in development, but Gates and Fauci pushed Moderna's Frankenstein jab to the front of the line. Scientists and ethicists are sounding alarms. The vaccine uses a new, untested, and very controversial RNA experimental technology that Gates has backed for over a decade. Instead of injecting an antigen and adjuvant as with traditional vaccines, did you want as well traditional vaccines? Moderna plugs a small piece of coronavirus genetic code into the human cells, altering DNA throughout the human body and reprogramming our cells to produce antibodies to fight the virus. mRNA vaccines are a form of genetic engineering called germline gene editing. Moderna's genetic alterations are passed down to future generations. In January, the Geneva Statement, the world's leading ethicist and scientist, call for an end to this kind of experimentation. Moderna has never brought a product to market, proceeded through clinical trials, or had a vaccine approved by FDA. Despite Gates' investments in the company was teetering on bankruptcy with $1.5 billion debt before COVID. Fauci's support brought the company $483 million in federal funds to accelerate development. Dr. Joseph Bolin, Moderna's former RAND chief, expressed shock at Fauci's bet. "I don't know what their thinking was," he told CNN. "When I read that, I was pretty amazed." Moderna and Fauci launched federally funded human trials on March 3 in Seattle. Dr. Peter Hotez warns of potentially fatal from skipping animal studies. "If there is an immune enhancement in animals, that's a showstopper." Dr. Sihanouk Siddiqui, Moderna's ex-director of chemistry, told CNN, "I would not let the vaccine be injected in my body. I would demand, where is the toxicity data?" Former NIH scientist Dr. Judy Makovita says it's criminal to test mRNA vaccines on humans. mRNA can cause cancers and other dire harms that don't surface for years. As precautions, Moderna ordered trial participants to avoid unprotected sex or sperm donations, and Fauci directed that all COVID vaccines be protected by blanket immunity. Gates hopes to sell his experimental gene-altering technology to all 7 billion humans and transform our Satan's Unholy Bibles. "2025 is the completion date of Satan's worldwide celebration of a new United Nations One World Order in Saudi Arabia after the fall of the United Nations in New York City." In a Hollywood reality movie off-screen. Will there be civil war, Nazi camps, or total destruction from bombs, laser death ray weapons of Walking Dead vaccine shot zombies never firing a shot? Film produced by Big Pharma. Script written by the Vatican. Starring Satan with his evangelical supporters. Supporting cast 6,000 Children of Satan. Admission free. Prepaid with Lost Souls. What can stop the United Nations celebration for Satan in 2025? Read all about it. The Final Battle. $150 million a year human trafficking. God's children are not for sale. Satan is fathers of lies and genocide. Nuremberg 2021. True crime novel. By M. Glenn Baxter. Knowledge for 99% human Gentiles 7 billion to defeat Satan's angel of death Nazis 1%. Free PDF of book. Go to www.outoftherainforest.com. Subscribe free and register your name with your email address. Real names only. No trolls. Soon to be published. The illustrated book from the secret Vatican Black Vault.